Hey everyone, this is Colin, your guitar teacher. Today we're going to go over the wonderful arrangement Sand by Phish, one of my favorite groove tunes. I consider this a pretty easy tune that Trey from Phish wrote, based in comparison to his other compositions. Difficulty of this one, I'd say, is pretty simple. Though there are some intricacies in the tune that we're going to go over, that when I've heard other people cover it, I haven't heard it really, delivered as well. So let's get into it. Or before we get into it, just want to let you know, this is my profession. I'm a professional guitar instructor. These lessons are free. I'm going to be doing more of these Phish guitar lessons. I decided to do Sand because of, given the state we're in, I thought the lyrics were appropriate during this incredibly chaotic global time of the coronavirus. The lyrics of the song were appropriate. But you can, in the description below, you can check out links to my Facebook, Colin Ward Music, or my email is colinwardmusic84@gmail.com if you'd like private lessons with me via Skype or FaceTime. Okay, so let's jump into it. We've got Sand by Phish. So it starts off with bass and drums. The bass and drums, the bass I believe goes something like, which I'm not going to go over because we're here for the guitar stuff, but that kicks in and the drums kick in, or sometimes they kick in together. Sometimes it's drums first and then both, I think it switches up. My memory serves me correctly. Different versions. Phish loves to switch things up over the years. So drums and bass, and then the guitar finally kicks in, and this is Trey's just classic line. I'm going to play a little bit of it. So that's the main theme there, right? And it's just a very cool rock, funky, Trey sounding guitar lick. It's one of those licks that to me doesn't sound like anybody but Trey. So in all of Trey's glory, we get to learn that type of vibe of what he created, his sound. People say Hendrix has his own sound, or Robert Fripp has his own sound. I think this is very much Trey's sound, is this kind of lick. Even though it's mid years of Phish. 99, Farmhouse. I don't know when exactly they started playing this, probably a year or two before, but yeah, that was the album it came out on. Okay, back to the song. So we've got bass and drums, then the groove comes in, it settles for a while, and it's very pocket. He repeats it probably 4 or 8 times or so. It's back to back. So how do you play it? So we're in A is the tonal center. Right, we can kind of hear that it's got the A vibe going around. A, what, you may ask? Is it A minor? Is it A major? Well, in this case, to me, this is modal music, so I don't consider this like the classical way of looking at it as either a major or minor key. Modal music, the key center versus the key signature is kind of a different thing. I even go further and use the word tonal center, so I'm going to say it's A as the tonal center. Right off the bat, he plays that chord, which is barring your first fret on the fifth, or first finger on the 5th fret, excuse me, which indicates an A minor. It's the low A down there on the 5th fret of the 6th string. That is an A minor shape. Sorry, my guitar's kind of feeding back today. So that's an A minor shape. And let's get right into the intricacies. When Trey plays that first one, there's such attack on that. I have kind of learned this vibe from Trey where he is playing with fingernail and pick off the first finger. I happen to use these tiny little jazz picks, these 358s. So there's really not much there in between, you know, or not much of the pick separating. Like if I had one of those big kind of rock picks, you know, some people choke back on it that much. I choke up quite a bit, so my fingernail gets shredded because I like the tone that comes off by touching the string with my finger. And I notice to get that kind of Trey liquidy sound, for me anyway, I'm not positive if he does it because I haven't really seen the best close-ups on the pro shot videos of his finger pick hand touching the strings in specific instances like this. But I like to get a little bit of the pick and a little bit of the finger, which takes some getting used to, but you'll notice that here's just pick sound. It's kind of rounder, kind of smoother, kind of lower end almost, tonality, tone-wise. Here's with the finger and the pick. See how it's sharper? It kind of attacks the high end more because it's touching your fingernail. It's almost metallic-y, kind of. And then I kind of switch to the pick with the other stuff, the other parts of the lick. Alright, so we've got that first hit. You know, sometimes I miss, sometimes it's just pick, but you'll notice when he plays it live, it's really bright, like pop. And then the second part of that lick, right there we got beat 1, 1, 2, and it's on the and of 2, right? 2, and, right there, so that where he's bending, you'll hear he's bending the 5th fret of the G string, the 3rd string, maybe a quarter step, not quite a half step. It's like almost right before a half step is where he releases. But just enough to me it's like starting a car engine. You know, just kind of turning it a little bit. But you can also hear the 5th fret of the 2nd string, the B string, that note E. So he's got a chord happening. It's a little bit, I don't know what the word is, but to me it's unknown, I guess, that if we are to bend the 2nd string as well. I think I just bend the 3rd string. I'm going to move on and say that I just bend the 3rd string. So we got all this 5th fret action happening. A little bend there. Just a little bit. Turn the key. And then we've got sometimes I use pinky, sometimes I use 3rd finger. It seems like I use pinky most of the time, which goes 7, 5, 7, those are the frets, on the 4th string, or the D string. So we got 5, 5, 7, 5, 7 on the D string. With which is a pull-on hammer-off 1. So he only strikes the D string once. Right? Right. He might hit the D at the end of it too. Yeah, he'll hit it at the end. I was wrong. So he hits it. He does a pull off, and then another strike on that 7. 7, 5, 7. So he does that, what, 3 times or 4 times? So let's start. So 3 times, then he goes to that really magical lick, which I call is a very liquidy type of lick. That lick, it kind of completes his phrase there. Super funky. I always do it with a slide with my pinky from fret 5 on the 5th string up to fret 7. Really quick though. And then first finger on the 5th fret of the 4th string. Ooh, that's a mouthful. First finger, 5th fret, 4th string. And then we go with our 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the A string. That's kind of this little pivot anchor type of situation. ba-da-ba-bo, and then we go 5, 7 on the 3rd and 4th string to end it. But here's what I want to talk about is the kind of liquidy vibe that's happening. So I found that I have to be very gentle yet firm with my left hand. Well, you know what I mean about while fretting those notes. What I mean by that gentle but firm is a really delicate approach where you're thinking and feeling silkiness and feeling liquid type of sound. You know, you can hear that in his playing. It sounds to me as his whole tone and the way he plays is silky. It's like water. It's smooth. So I kind of feel that, and I've felt that over the years by listening to a lot of his playing and trying to emulate his sound. I've done countless hours of jamming along with his stuff. Dogs are barking outside. Excuse me. So back to that kind of liquidy playing, the gentle but firm thing, where the firmness means yes, you're pressing down hard enough to make a note sound, just like you always have to do on guitar. But the gentleness, almost like it's a harmonic, almost like it's a partial mute, right? And then I'm being very staccato with the right hand. Staccato means short note. So you need to practice a lot of your alternate picking stuff. That kind of down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, to get good at playing these kinds of quick licks. Alright, so that's the first part. Now let's talk about singing and playing it at the same time, which... I said it's an easy song, but here's one of the other intricacies of the song. Maybe on the album, he didn't, obviously didn't play the guitar at the same time while recording the guitar part and the vocals. And you'll see it, especially in later years, where he kind of bows out from, or backs off from playing any of the guitar stuff while he's singing the lyrics, which, I think it's totally fine. You want to deliver the lyrics first and foremost. You've got the entire band to back you up, but there's plenty of sonic activity happening. So I'm going to attempt it. It's a coordination game that I found to be tricky, and I realized the more I just kind of let go. When I used to perform this, I could kind of fake it or kind of fake it till you make it, but I could kind of get through playing it and singing it at the same time. If you can feel the symptoms, but not affect the cause, it's quite a bit like trying to heal a gunshot wound with gauze. If you instead attempt to rest, pistol from the hand, then I would not be able to equate my life with sin. Which is tricky. That was pretty good, I'd say. It was kind of a fake it. When I get to the part that's would not be able to equate my life with sand is very difficult to. I would not be able to equate my life with sand. The rhythms are different. So to really master it, I think you gotta kind of think in two parts of your brain. You gotta kind of shut them off, or they move independently, and you gotta think, or not think, I guess, is the best way to do it. Practice makes progress, is what I like to say. So we're gonna move on here. There's that's the first verse, and then it goes to this thing where he goes. I'm still uncertain if I feel like I've heard him use a harmonic with this part. This requires a little further research. He's just doing like a 5-1. I know those are the pitches, a 5-1 in the key of A, or the tonal center of A. So it goes E, A. Sometimes it seems like it's the looping whale call thing, but I'm not positive on that. Then it goes back to second verse. Flowing through the hourglass, pushing through the funnel. Turn once more, embracing all your siblings for the tunnel. Slide and let the silicone embrace you as you fall. Then back to land and let your brother push you to the wall. Then back to this. You might do it in a different spot. It's another place. 9/10 on the G and B. And this third verse without guitar. I would choose my own religion, worship my own spirit. And then if you ever preached me, I wouldn't want to hear it. I'd drop him a forgotten God, languishing in shame. And then if I hit stormy seas, I'd have myself to blame. Back in the groove. You can heal the symptoms. Now it's this last part, it's just like, I guess it's the chorus. Or they repeat it about 4 times. If you can heal the symptoms, but not affect the cause. If you can heal the symptoms. You can heal the symptoms, but not affect the cause. If you can heal the symptoms. You can heal the symptoms. You know, it goes on and on, 4 times with that. You get a little bit of a break there, but not affect the cause. And you get to play with that lick a bunch more. So you know that's it for the song. They go into groove now. We can talk a little bit, or a solo jam section. Talk a little bit about that. Back to the whole theory aspect of this. I would analyze this song in A Dorian. Trey's a big fan of Dorian, or he writes a lot in it, especially with the kind of minor-y funk stuff. Yes, Dorian is a minor sounding scale. It's not the minor scale. That would be Aeolian. This is Dorian. The scale goes... Right? Hit me up for lessons if you want to get into learning more about how modes work and the different positions I teach them in for ergonomic playing, laterally forwards and backwards. But yeah, when they go into their groove... See, have I set something for this? Yeah, set a little jam. I'm going to jam for you a little bit. Just a little loop, so I'm going to play a little bit of Dorian vibe. Bit of an A Dorian kind of Trey sounding jam. Who does that remind us of? To me, it screams Santana, and I think, or we all know that Santana was a big influence for Trey, and they even got to do that Europe tour together. But yeah, Dorian it's a big thing in like Latin jazz and the kind of Latin psychedelic rock stuff Santana was doing. He was definitely using a lot of Dorian and Aeolian as well, which is one note off. You'll notice the difference between the two. Aeolian's got a flat 6, Dorian's got a natural 6. I'm going to do demonstrations of both, and you'll see why, not why Trey goes to that, but why it's Trey's sound to play more Dorian than Aeolian. I'm going to demonstrate Dorian for a little bit, and then do a big pause, and we'll go to Aeolian. Here's your Dorian. Okay, now here's some Aeolian sound. Sounds a little more classical proper, even though it's got the somber, sad minor sound. It is a minor scale. It's got that flat 6 as opposed to A, that natural 6, the major 6, which has got a little more of a tension thing going on with our flat third, giving us a tritone. Funky, right? And I think that's exactly why it's more notable to be called Trey's sound. Anyway, that's my lesson on sand. I hope you liked it. Leave comments, share this, give us a like, subscribe to the page, hit us up on Facebook, Colin Ward Music. Anyway, thank you so much, and good luck amidst all of this trouble in the world today. Thank you.